So, welcome to Unit 5 of, our class. This is the live session for Unit 5. Tonight we'll be looking at, taking a brief look at Project Human Resource Management and another look at Project Communications Management. You open this up here. So, what is Project Human Resource Management? Well, our learning objectives for this week are to explain the importance of good human resource management on projects, define Project Human Resource Management and understand its processes, and summarize key concepts for managing people by understanding certain theories. Maslow theory, Herzberg, McClellan, McGregor are just some of the examples. Also going to look at human resource management planning. We're going to understand important issues involved in project staff acquisition, acquiring your team, team development. We're going to look at several tools and techniques to help manage a project team, and we're going to describe how project management software can assist in project human resource management. So, importance of human resource management. People are our most important asset. People determine the success and the failure of organizations and projects. Proactive organizations are addressing workforce needs by improving benefits, redefining work hours and incentives, and finding future workers. A lot of your social networks are used, such as Facebook and Twitter. This is a 2011 report by CompTIA found a gap between skills that employers wanted and what they actually found in the IT workforce. Top priorities for IT include security, data storage, replacing old equipment, improving networks and infrastructure, disaster recovery, business continuity. So, what is Project Human Resource Management? Making the most effective use of the people involved with the project. Processes include planning human resource management, acquiring the project team, developing the project team, and managing the project team. This is an example of a planning, executing, monitoring, controlling of your resource management. Keys to managing people. Well, we're going to skip over this. This talks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. 1, physiological. 2, safety. 3, social. Esteem. 4 is esteem. 5 is self-actualization. So the example of Herzberg's hygiene factors and motivators: larger salaries, more supervision, attractive work environment, computer or other required equipment, health benefits, training. What motivates that? Well, achievement, recognition, work itself, responsibility, advancement, and growth. So projects are more likely to succeed when project managers influence with expertise and work challenge. Projects are more likely to fail when project managers rely too heavily on authority, money, and penalty. Power is the potential ability to influence behavior to get people to do things they would not otherwise do. Types of power include coercive, legitimate, expert, reward, and referent. Power is a potential ability to influence behavior to get people to do things they would not otherwise do. Let's skip over that one. This is Covey 7 Habits. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Synergize, sharpen the saw. This some examples of developing the human resource plan involves identifying and documenting project roles, responsibilities, and reporting relationships. Contents include project organizational charts, staffing management plan, responsibilities assignment matrix, and resource histograms. This is an example of an organizational chart for a large IT project. So your project manager, deputy project manager, there's the test group, engineering, lead, quality assurance, configuration management, and then you see your different projects and your different teams underneath those different projects, managers. This is an example of work definition assignment process. Responsibility assignment matrix, called RAM, is a matrix that maps the work of the project as described in the WBS to the people responsible for performing the work as described in the OBS. It can be created in different ways to meet unique project needs. This is just an example of a responsibility matrix. What is a staffing management plan? A staffing management plan describes when and how people will be added to and taken off of the project team. A resource histogram is a column chart that shows the number of resources assigned to a project over time. Example of resource histogram. This talks about acquiring the project team, resource assignment, so best practices can be applied to include the best places for people to work. Let me go back one. So let's talk a little bit about resource loading. Resource loading refers to the amount of individual resources the existing schedule requires during specific time periods. It helps project managers develop a general understanding of the demands a project will make on the organization's resources, individual people's schedules. So what is over-allocation? Well, that means more resources are available or assigned to perform the work at a given time. Histogram of an over-allocated individual. Talk about resource leveling. It's a technique for resolving resources conflicts by delaying tasks. Here's a resource leveling example. These are some of the benefits of resource leveling. So how do you develop your team? Well, the main goal of team development is to help people work together more effectively to improve project performance. It takes teamwork to successfully complete most projects. This is Tuckman model of team development: forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. Some of your discussion posts showed some of those examples. Training. Just some more examples. So how do you project managers lead their teams in performing various project activities? Managing the project team is very important. After you assess team performance and related information, the project manager must decide should changes be requested to the project, corrective or preventative action should be recommended, updates are needed to the project management plan or organizational process assets. These are just some examples of conflict handling modes, how you handle conflicts, confrontation, compromise, smoothing, forcing, withdrawal, collaborating. Talks about 5 dysfunctions of a team. So this talks a little bit about some software to assist in human resource management. So you can use Microsoft Project or Project Libre to assign resources, identify potential resource shortages or underutilization, and leveling resources. So, in summary, project human resource management includes the processes required to make the most effective use of the people involved with a project. Main processes include plan human resource management, acquire your project team, and develop the project team, and manage the project team. So I want to jump up to the course itself. Okay, let's go back to, I want to open the PowerPoint. We're going to take a little bit of look at project communications management, another very important area. So the objective of this section is to understand the importance of good communications on projects and the need to develop soft skills, especially for IT project managers and their teams. We talk about how to manage communications, and we're going to look at methods of controlling communications and list various methods for improving project communications. And also we're going to take a look at some software that can enhance project communications management. When we talk about communications, we're talking about talking between the project team. Also, how do we communicate with our stakeholders and our customer on the project? One of the greatest threats to many project failures is a failure to communicate. You have to be you must be able to communicate effectively to succeed in their positions. You must have strong verbal and non-technical skills are a key factor in career advancements. So you plan communications management, you manage the communications, and you control. Planning, managing, and controlling. You've seen that before. This is an example of planning communications management, executing, monitoring, and controlling from project start to project finish. Some keys to good communications: we need to focus on group and individual needs, use formal and informal methods for communicating, you distribute important information in an effective and timely manner, you set the stage for communicating bad news, determine the number of communication channels you need. This just talks about face-to-face communication. I would encourage more face-to-face interactions also. That way, versus an email you send to somebody, if you go over and walk over, send the email, walk over there and talk to them. in case they have any questions about your email. You distribute information in an effective and timely manner. It's very important. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't bury crucial information. Don't be afraid to report bad information. You have to deal with different working hours, language barriers, different cultural norms. This talks about how you come up with a number of communication channels, where N is the number of people involved. As the number of people involved increases, the complexity of communications increases because there are more communication channels or pathways through which people can communicate. This talks about the number of communication channels. For example, 2 people, 1 communications channel. 3 people, 3. 4 people, 6 communication channels. Every project should include some type of communications management plan, a document that guides project communications. What's in a communications management plan? Well, information to be communicated, who will receive the information, who will produce it, suggested methods, the frequency, escalation procedures for resolving issues, revision procedures, and a glossary of common terminology. Management communication is a large part of a project manager's job. Getting project information to the right people at the right time and in a useful format is just as important as developing the information in the first place. Important considerations include the use of technology, the appropriate methods and media to use to perform reporting. This is just different types of classifications of communications: interactive, push, pull. This just talks about how you do that: hard copy, telephone call, voicemail, email, meeting, website. You have to control communications. So, some suggestions for improving project communications: develop better communication skills, run effective meetings, use email and other technologies effectively, use templates for project communications. Run effective meetings is very important. I normally stick to the 1-hour rule and have an agenda. Let's talk about some collaborative tools. My favorite: SharePoint portal, Google Docs, a wiki. This is some examples of a sample template for a monthly report. Some final project documentation items. Lessons learned. What are lessons learned? Well, what went right? What went wrong? What can we do better? And some of the software you can use in project communication: email, Microsoft Project, Project Libre, websites, wikis, portals, collaboration tools. So the goal of project communications management is to ensure timely and appropriate generation, collection, dissemination, storage, and disposition of project information. Main processes include plan communications management, you manage the communications, and you control the communications. So that concludes our Unit 5 live session. Again, we have one more week left in the course. If you're missing assignments, you still have time to catch up and get those completed if you are. And everybody have a great weekend. We talk to you soon.